Muscle vehicles proudly display their engines at the front. They should always have more than enough power to overcome both the limits of grip and the skill of any driver who isn't paying attention. With all of this in mind, this list might give rise to the truth that various other countries out there can also experience burnout. In this video, we will look at 10 of the coolest non-American muscle cars. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe if you love cars. Number 10. Mercedes C63 AMG. The 2024 Mercedes-AMG C63. E-performance is a heated subject. Although the most recent model of the range-topping C-Class was almost exclusively available with a large V8 engine, it now has a complex hybrid powertrain that centers around an inline-4 turbocharged engine. This is a significant departure from AMG's earlier C63 versions, which were named German muscle due to their extreme simplicity and brute force. Although the twin-turbo V8 engine of the previous model is impressive, the 2007 M156-powered C63 is the real deal. One of the final Mercedes-AMG vehicles with a naturally aspirated 6.02-liter V8 engine is the WSC 204 Series C-Class, depending on the body style. It is available as a station wagon and has an automatic transmission with 7 speeds called 7G-tronic. The C63 AMG from the 204 series has an incredible array of V8 sounds only surpassed by its ravenous appetite for rear tires. Number 9. Aston Martin V8 Vantage. One of the key factors that contributed to the popularity of muscle cars is the fact that no Aston Martin can ever be considered an inexpensive vehicle. However, many of the more recent models from Aston Martin are extremely affordable. The formula of packing a large engine into a comparatively small package is reminiscent of the golden age of muscle cars, though whether you should get one is a different story. Since 1969, Aston Martin models have been adorned with the V8 and Vantage designations. Although the British manufacturer still has its own V12 unit to brag about, the Vantage is now available with an AMG-derived V8. But regardless of whether you go for one of the earlier models made between 1969 and 1992, or something more recent, the British car maker associated with James Bond meets the requirements for a gentleman's muscle car. Number 8. Jensen Interceptor and Jensen FF. British car companies produce a good number of models with V8 engines. And to make serious power, most of those are powered by American V8 engines. Jensen Interceptor is among the most famous examples. A total of 6,408 full-size Grand Tourers were produced between 1966 and 1976. There were 3 body types available for the Interceptor: hatchback, convertible, and coupe. There was also a 4-wheel drive version known as the Jensen FF, which was produced between 1966 and 1971, but only 320 of those were produced. 3 engine options were available, all of which were Chrysler-derived. There were 3 available engines: the FF only 6.3-liter, the 5.9-liter small block LA V8, and the 7.2-liter. Chrysler also offered 3-speed TorqueFlite A 727 automatic and 4-speed manual gearbox options. Hold on to your seats because it only gets more powerful from here with number 5 on the list. Number 7. Holden Vauxhall Monaro. The Australians have demonstrated their ability to construct muscle cars on a number of occasions. One of the greatest examples of that is Holden Monaro, which was initially released in 1968. What results from combining a contemporary muscle car with a pickup truck is the Holden Maloo. Beginning in 1990, the Holden Maloo was categorized as a high-performance utility vehicle. A 6.2-liter supercharged V8 from a Camaro ZL1 replaces the original Maloo's 5-liter V8 engine. In Aboriginal, the language spoken by the indigenous Australians, Maloo means thunder. The fastest pickup truck currently in production is the Maloo, with a top speed of 169 miles per hour. Because GM owns Holden, GM provides nearly every engine option. GM announced in 2021 that it would no longer be producing cars with right-hand drive, and Holden was retired. The Monaro has only ever had 2 doors and 2+2 seats in all 3 of its generations. It was also marketed in North America as the Pontiac GTO and as the Vauxhall Monaro in its final generation. It always had a 5.7-liter LS1 engine and later a 6-liter LS2 engine, depending on the market it was sold in. 0 to 60 miles per hour could be reached in as little as 4.05 seconds when using a Tremec T56 6-speed manual. Number 6. HSV GTS and Vauxhall VXR8. Both Holden Special Vehicles, HSV, and the Vauxhall VXR8 use the GM Zeta platform. The first neo-retro Camaro Chevrolet Caprice, SS, and Pontiac G8 are all built on the same platform. Even for the non-performance models, GM offered a variety of small block V8s. However, the hot models with their supercharged LS9 and LSA units were what really made the difference. Consequently, the rear axle would only receive up to 905 horsepower and 546 pound-feet, 740 Newton-meters. The fact that you can also choose a manual with the same number of gears in addition to the 6-speed automatic makes this even more exciting. Calm down, and 60 miles per hour would pass in as little as 4 seconds. Although the Chevy SS with LS3 power was the closest thing Americans had to this, it was never equipped with a supercharger out of the box. Number 5. Lexus RCF. Although both Toyota and Lexus offer a good number of V8 models, the Lexus RCF currently appears to be the best model in the lineup. Indeed, the Lexus LC500 exists, but it's primarily a high-end Grand Tourer. Based on a standard compact executive coupe, the RCF is positioned slightly beneath the LC500. One of the main differences between this car and the base model is naturally under the hood. You now get a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine in place of the standard Turbo 4 or naturally aspirated V6 engines. The LC500, IS500, and GSF all share the same engine. With a maximum speed of 176 miles per hour and 477 horsepower, the RCF can accelerate to 535 Newton-meters, 395 pound-feet. A mechanical limited slip differential and an electronic differential with torque vectoring are the two types of differentials available. Number 4. Jaguar XK. The original muscle cars had humble beginnings. Although the high-performance Jaguar models may not be affordable for everyone, Jaguar produced some attractive GT coupes with V8 engines under the XK name during the Ford era. The model was produced in 2 generations between 1996 and 2015, with the 4 and 5-liter V8 Ford-derived engines available in both. The engine type, supercharged or naturally aspirated, was a crucial decision. Depending on the model year and whether the engine is supercharged or not, power could vary from 275 to 542 horsepower. Though it is actually a Ford Cologne design, the 5-liter engine is frequently mistaken for a Coyote V8 Mustang. Although it gives up a lot of what makes the standard XK a fantastic GT, the range-topping XK RS can reach 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in as little as 4.2 seconds. Buckle up as we're approaching crazy speeds with number 2 on the list. Number 3. Porsche 928. Porsche may be manufacturing the 911, one of the most important sports cars ever made, but you will never associate it with muscle cars. The German automaker explored using a more traditional front-engine 911 in place of the rear-engine model in the late 1970s. The Porsche 928, which was manufactured from 1977 to 1995, was the result of this. The 928 never succeeded the 911 as a replacement, despite having a long production run and many upgrades. It was a more GT-oriented vehicle with a range of V8 engines from 4.5 to 5.6 liters. The versions that barely produced 200 horsepower or more were severely underpowered. However, the GTS model in the European versions boasted up to 350 horsepower. Sadly, the majority of examples had 3- or 4-speed automatic transmissions, with very few having the 5-speed dogleg manual. Number 2. BMW M3 E92. BMW offers a number of thrilling V8-powered vehicles, but the E92 M3 is by far one of the most innovative. This marked BMW's decision to experiment with design and powertrains more daringly. The powerful inline-6 engines produced by the Bavarian car maker are its most well-known feature. This holds particularly true for the M3 model. Indeed, the inline-4 found in the E30 M3 was a truncated inline-6 from the E26 M1. Because of its powerful S65 engine, the E92 M3 will always hold a unique place in the history of M-cars. The 4.0-liter V8 is a condensed version of the Formula One-based S85 V10 engine found in the E60 M5. The 0 to 60 miles per hour time is 4.04 to 4.06 seconds, depending on whether you have the 7-speed DCT or the 6-speed manual with 414 horsepower, 444 for the GTS, and 325 pound-feet, 440 newton-meters. Number 1. Mercedes 500E and E60 AMG Hammer. Among the most important Mercedes of the modern era is the W124 model. Many commend it for being overly durable and well-engineered, but it also set the precedent for all contemporary AMG sedans, thanks in part to Porsche. Porsche is the company that forced a 5-liter V8 M119 into a space that wasn't intended for it. One of the most iconic German sedans ever produced is the end product. A sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6.0 seconds was made possible by the 322 horsepower and 354 pound-feet, 480 newton-meters of torque that were sent to the rear via a 4-speed automatic transmission. The E60 AMG Hammer followed with 381 horsepower and 428 pound-feet, 580 newton-meters of displacement thanks to an Afflturbach tuner that raised the displacement from 5 to 6 liters. Porsche is to blame for this German muscle car, as the mean Merc has since evolved into a sought-after modern classic. With roaring engines and classy designs, these global muscle cars redefine power. Which ones did you like the most? Or would you rather stick with the good old American ones? Let us know in the comments below. These were some special cars indeed, but there are some extremely hard to find ones out there. Find out the 10 rarest muscle cars of all time.